I sold all my Tesla stock earlier this year at the end of actually Q1 2025. And I kind of wanted to just talk about it because I received this question on one of my videos. So I don't know. Can I say this now? Am I going to get like a strike or something? Let's say COVID. You know what that guy's talking about. Is a scam 464556 said, are you bullish on Tesla? So, well, I guess not really because I sold all of my stock earlier this year. So let's talk about it in depth, guys. Stay tuned for the rest of the video. So there's pretty much 5 big reasons why I sold all of my Tesla stock. And we're going to kind of just go over them in order. And then I'm going to like break them down in depth for the rest of the video. So guys, as usual, I got my cup of green tea here. We're just going to do a deep dive into why I just don't see the reason to even hold Tesla stock anymore, especially for you guys that have been following me over the years. So you guys know I used to run a pretty big financial website called Investor Trip. I actually sold that site in 2024 for Bitcoin, actually. And one of the ways I kind of blew up on that channel in general was back in 2019. I was recommending that you guys get into Tesla stock. So back in 2019, I was doing a lot of reading. I was following people like Kathy Wood, and a lot of people on YouTube were also into Tesla stock. So Tesla stock back then, probably when I started getting on board, where it was about 30 bucks, something like that. Now this is the post-split price, okay? So Tesla's done 2 stock splits, right? So really you need to 15x the price to get the original pre-split price for Tesla stock, because they've done a 5-for-1 and a 3-for-1 split since the company really exploded. So back then, Tesla stock was like crazy and you could make a ton of money trading options on it on Robinhood and stuff like that. That was back during the Panvid, during COVID. And I was really bullish about it just because I kind of saw the need for cars, for electric cars, due to like all of the closures and stuff like that, the social distancing, and the fact that, guys like Elon Musk, I think they're really big visionaries in terms of seeing into the future, how ICE vehicles, cause a lot of pollution. They contribute, I believe, around 80% of the carbon emissions on the planet. So the reason why so many people are developing lung cancer, the reason why so many people are having breathing problems, asthma, people passing away from lung cancer, bad air, which affects our bodies in more ways than you can imagine. So electric cars, electric vehicles is definitely one of the ways to kind of remedy this problem. And Tesla was been pretty impressive, guys. It's grown quite a bit since then. And then, it kind of peaked out in, November, December 2021. And then it had a small rebound back here during right after the Trump inauguration and things like that. And it looks like it's done a double top here, guys. So in this video, basically, we're going to just gotta dive right into it. I got to guide you guys how I got started in Tesla, and then I'm going to talk about why I'm out here. So let's just go down the list, guys. The first one is declining annual deliveries. So this was a big worry for me. When I knew this day would eventually come where Tesla just couldn't keep growing its annual deliveries year by year, okay? They did an amazing job, kind of just growing every year, right? Very rare for a company to continue to deliver more vehicles year after year after year. Especially with all the competition, right? Competition from BYD, competition from Lucid, competition from Rivian, some of these other Chinese electric vehicle companies like NIO, okay? Xiaopeng, I think that's the way you pronounce it, okay? And there's a bunch of other like copycat imitators out there. But when this happened, I kind of knew that this was pretty much the time to get out. So it says, Tesla's 2024 annual sales and deliveries fall for the first time. So you can see here the graph here. This was the first time in 2024 that Tesla didn't grow its deliveries. So that's a big problem. It says Tesla delivered fewer cars in 2024 last year than it did in 2023, marking its first year-to-year drop and signaling companies struggling to reach new buyers. Why? So, there's a lot of things that have taken place, over the past, I would say, year with Tesla. We've got obviously a lot of competitors out there. A lot of people are actually not into electric vehicles. Okay, a lot of people don't like them. They like their gas, their ICE gas guzzlers. Elon has done a great job of turning off. For you guys that are political out there, Elon's done a great job for turning off left wing liberal car buyers with his like super pro right MAGA, pro Trump stance. So while that's maybe, you could argue that that's good for the long run in America, be pro America, blah, blah, blah. That's bad for people who with money who, are on the other side of the fence and don't want to purchase your vehicle. So Elon's done a great job in just like turning off a ton of prospective buyers, potential buyers with his political antics. And, he's the CEO of Tesla. The way he operates, the way he thinks and what he says, it really matters to people, especially consumers. And I really believe that this is one of the main reasons with this like pro political stance and his Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency and all of this like political stuff that kind of came out of from left field because, we all saw Elon as like an innovator and an engineer, right? I mean, he's supposed to be an engineer and now he's like quasi politician or I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he has some say in a government department, but he's not an elected official. There's a lot of issues going on with Elon right now. I don't know if he's just having a severe midlife crisis or he's bored. He has so much money. Okay, he's according to Forbes, he's like the wealthiest guy in the planet, so he's just bored out of his mind. Or he really believes in free speech. He really believes in America because even though everyone knows that Elon was born in South Africa, his mother is Canadian. Okay, so Elon is North American. He does care about North America and the United States on a deep, spiritual path because he has 50% North American blood in his veins. So, maybe this was just something that he's wanted to do for a long time. And he felt like this was the chance. He has the money now. He has the ethos. He has the political sway. He really wanted to support Trump, but this was really disastrous for Tesla's deliveries. And at the end of the day, we're looking at Tesla's deliveries. Now, Tesla has a lot of great products in the pipeline. Don't get me wrong, okay? They've got a lot of great things coming up, apparently. They've got, obviously, Tesla Bot. It's great, right? They've got Robotaxi, all right? Maybe they'll do some, eVTOLs in the future, electric vertical takeoff and landing, aircrafts. We don't know. So we know Tesla has a lot of things planned in the future, but right now, Tesla, in my opinion, the bulk of the revenue is still coming from electric vehicles. So we still need to kind of look at Tesla as an electric vehicle company. Now, they have all of these AI and all of these products planned in the future, but those haven't came to fruition yet. So that was kind of like the number one thing that I was just worried about, the declining deliveries, okay? That is a big, big, big inflection point because now what's going on? Are the deliveries going to continue to decline? Because if we take a look here, okay, if we take a look here at Tesla's Q1 results in 2025, okay, automotive revenue continued to fall. So deliveries are declining. Okay, so what is going on? Is this like a short-term thing, a long-term thing? We don't know. If as you said, Tesla has faced widespread protests in the U.S. and Europe, where Musk actively supported Germany's far-right AfD party. All of these political stances, okay, these are bad for business. Okay, it's really, I think, good for Tesla shareholders if that Elon were just neutral, right? He doesn't really support one way or another. I know that's obviously not how he is as a person, but this affects shareholders, okay? It's going to affect the price of Tesla stock. So like recently, Elon has said, he's going to step down from Doge, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? Maybe he's just talking crap. We don't know. And we know that these numbers are not looking good, okay? A lot of people don't want to own a Tesla now. People are literally taking time out of their busy lives to protest against Tesla. This is not a good look. This is not something that Elon and Tesla can easily shake. So for me, the number one reason why I just got out was declining deliveries. Okay. Number two, fundamental reasons. Okay, so now let's take a look here at the Tesla Q1 report. Okay, so Q1 2025 report, you can download all of this stuff easily from the Tesla website. Okay, the number one statistic that's kind of pointed out for me is operating margin. Okay, operating margin for Q1 2025 was 2%. You know, I haven't really seen Tesla's margins. It's been a while since their operating margin has been this low. And take a look at the automotive revenues. This is insane, okay? Tesla was crushing it. Ever since these political stances, whoa, man, their automotive revenue is going in the opposite direction, okay? It did 19 billion in Q4 24, only 13 billion, but come on, this is Tesla. Tesla's supposed to be selling cars out here. You know, the Tesla is all these factories all over the world. They've been planning new ones. They're supposed to be pumping out these cars to kind of get rid of all of these gas guzzlers. There's so many toxic ICE vehicles that are polluting the planet. They need to be replaced. But Tesla, according to consumers, isn't the company that people are interested in right now. So this was kind of a big red flag for me. Just the fact that the deliveries are declining. Okay, so if we take a look here at total deliveries, we can see that the deliveries here fell off a cliff. Massive drop in deliveries, okay, from Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. This is a huge problem, okay? I don't know how Elon can quickly fix this one, because everyone kind of has embedded in their brain of how he's super far alt-right, his stance on politics and everything. It's going to be hard to convince consumers that he's changed, which he hasn't. Okay, Elon's probably always been like that. He was just scared to talk about it. But with the difference between, you know, I guess he couldn't wake up and imagine Kamala Harris being the president of the United States, so he had to just do something about it. And this has been disastrous for Tesla's revenue and net income. So from a fundamental standpoint, this company has got a lot of issues right now, okay? Tesla is just looking like a very expensive electric car company with declining sales. We just really don't need to take, I think, massive risk with Tesla. If Tesla's brand continues to deteriorate like it has, why take risk by holding Tesla shares at the moment, okay? It just doesn't make sense. So what else doesn't make sense is the PE ratio for Tesla is 151. This does not match Tesla's falling sales and declining deliveries. Okay, deliveries declined annually in 2024. Declined in Q1 2025. Why pay so much for Tesla 151 PE ratio? Okay, remember now, guys, you know, I'm a Bitcoiner. So, you know, if I'm going to invest in any now, I do admit that Tesla does hold Bitcoin on its balance sheet, which is one of the reasons why I'm even mentioning this video, because I probably wouldn't even own Tesla stock for all of these years if they hadn't added Bitcoin to the balance sheet at one point anyway. But since that I basically had held it for almost 6 years and then I got out, I just really wanted to kind of nail home the point that Tesla's PE ratio must contract at some point, okay? Most of these Mag 7 companies trade at PE ratios from like 20 to 50. Tesla by far is a complete outlier. We already saw how Palantir has been trading at a ridiculous PE ratio. It's declining. Tesla will probably do the same, especially if they cannot change the trajectory of their deliveries. This was like I don't know, you know, I mean, Elon basically sacrificed his own personal political his own personal political measures for long-term shareholder value, in my opinion. And this is going to continue to be expressed, I think, as Tesla's PE ratio starts to contract to more normal, like 180, which means that most likely there's just going to be a decline in the share price from a fundamental standpoint. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I was all on Tesla when it was cheap here, but You know, we just really haven't seen much growth. Okay, Tesla stock is basically trading at the same price it was back in January 2021. That should just be a red flag for a lot of people right there. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the technical part of this video, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys, you know, a huge heads up on fundamentally, I think really Tesla has changed as a company. I do believe that they have value in the long run, but right now, man, there's just so much risk when there's just better opportunities out there. We're going to talk more about that later. So the third reason, technical reasons. Okay, the thing that I don't like technically about Tesla is this double top. So this is an extremely bearish chart with two massive double tops. I've seen this chart before with crypto, especially with Litecoin, and this is a bad sign, okay? So basically Tesla, people started dumping Tesla stock around $400 in 2021, and then they dumped it again at $400 in 2024. This means that there was massive, massive, massive selling pressure on Tesla stock in 2 separate years, which means a lot of people had been waiting to exit the stock. You rarely see this type of chart on most long-term growth stocks simply because people are usually hodling, right? Companies like Amazon, Google, whatever, Meta, okay? This to me is a double top. This is extremely bearish. And if we take a look here over the monthly chart, Tesla stock has already been trending down. In my opinion, it's probably going to retest these levels right around $200 or so, simply because, remember, declining deliveries, okay? A lot of people were investing in Tesla stock because they thought those deliveries would always go up perpetually, and that just hasn't been the case. Elon and his antics have turned the company in a different direction that I didn't anticipate. I really didn't know that Elon would alienate literally half of the American population. And then if you look at all of these other people, like go to other countries like Germany and France and places like that in Europe, they're heavily liberal. So Elon's alienated half of the United States' population, and then most of the people in Europe. This is one of the reasons why Tesla sales are declining. And I've noticed, okay, I'm currently living in Asia, and I've noticed a huge emergence of BYD vehicles. Okay, BYD, that's the same company that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett had invested in. They're like the Chinese Tesla. Okay, and I've seen a lot of their vehicles on the road. I haven't seen so many Teslas. So there's definitely a huge issue here. And from a technical standpoint, I just don't like the fact that now we always look at the monthly chart over the long run. When Tesla kind of topped out at the monthly chart back here in February at an RSI of 68, I just see more downside risk here. I don't want to hold it. I don't want a risky stock that's with declining deliveries, with declining sales, with an eccentric, strange CEO that's lost a bit of touch with his mission. Okay, I thought the mission was to fight climate change. I didn't know it was to fight the liberals. So what's going on, Elon? You see this video, bro. Tell us what's going on, man. Do you care more about liberal voters or you care more about climate change? Because clearly in the long run, climate change is a serious problem. I've been all over the world. I've been to 23 different countries, and I can vouch for you guys. It is getting hotter. The planet is getting hotter. It's not just you. Climate change is real. Okay. The core temperature, in my opinion, since I'm 38, since I was a kid, the core temperature on the earth has been much hotter. Okay. And we've seen the results of this with just fewer, bugs and bumblebees and butterflies and all of these insects that used to be around. They're just not here anymore. So climate change is still the number one problem, not liberal voters. Yes, fight for free speech, but climate change should remain number one, because that's the thing that's going to affect all of us. Free speech doesn't affect people, in China because it's like communist dictatorship, right? There's no free speech in like Gambia because they have a dictator. So, but we all are affected by climate change. So that I just think, just that stance and the technical issues with Tesla stock and just the downtrend. I just feel like it was just time for me to move on to greener pastures, basically. Technically, this is an ugly chart, double top. Not looking good. Okay. So now fourth reason, Elon's racist remarks. Okay. Guys, we're going to talk about this a little bit because you guys haven't noticed, you know, I'm African American, okay? I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. Both my parents are African American. I'm not, you know, mixed, or I'm not like from born in Africa or the Caribbean or something. You know, I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., okay? And I know for a fact, because I've traced this, that I even had an ancestor fight for the Union Army in the Civil War. Okay, I'm a true American. I'm not one of these fresh off the boat guys. I'm not from the Caribbean. You know, I'm not some migrant import. Okay, I'm at least 10 to 20 generations American, and I've traced a lot of this. Like I said, one of my ancestors, you know, shed his blood in the Civil War. So this country, United States of America, could be a free country. And I just can't stand what the hell Elon is talking about when he's commenting on a lot of these settled cases, these settled criminal cases that a judge who went to law school and you studied law, passed the bar, in serving as a judge, sentenced some of these criminals, and he's commenting on them. Last I checked, Elon didn't go to law school, okay? He went to Wharton Business School, but he didn't go to law school. So he's commenting on things he has no expertise on, okay? He's never passed the bar exam in any state. He's never served as an attorney. He's never served as a judge. So why is he commenting on criminal cases? Okay, we're going to show us some of these, what I'm talking about here. The first one that kind of, made me scratch my head was Elon Musk defends Marine vet Daniel Penny and prepares for trial in death of a homeless man in New York subway. So long story short, there was like this crazy black American guy, Jordan Neely, and he was like homeless, and he was like making a bunch of ruckus, causing a bunch of ruckus on this New York subway. And this white guy, Daniel Penny, basically choked him out in front of everybody. Okay. That's murder. Okay. When we have issues in the United States, I don't know which country you guys are watching this from, but in the United States, we're a country of laws. It's a corporation. When you have an issue with someone, you have to call the authorities. You call the police. You don't take the law into your own hands because you're not a police officer. So this guy committed multiple crimes by assaulting this homeless guy, choking him, and then murdering him. And then Elon Musk defends this freaking murderer who some ridiculous reason, gets off and doesn't actually get convicted of killing someone, which he took someone's life. He sent someone to the graveyard like when they were like 30, 31 years old. So he's defending him and saying, he did the right thing. Okay, Elon, what if someone choked you? I mean, I don't get it. Why do you need to choke somebody? If there's an issue, you simply call the police. 911, dial 911. This is common sense. So now we're living in a society where if you don't like what someone's doing, you just start choking them. This is ridiculous. And I don't know, if Elon's not taking his meds, or, he's having a midlife crisis. Maybe he's just in midlife crisis mode. Maybe because his son is a flaming homo, that he's got a lot of, unsolved traumas, that he's dealing with. But maybe he believes even though he's like the richest guy in the world, he's a terrible father or something like that. I don't know what he's thinking. But, this was someone's child that lost their life in a subway, out of all places. Not on a battlefield, not in a nursing home or something like that, in a New York subway. And Elon's defending this guy. That was like the first red flag for me, that Elon is just potentially a racist, okay? I just think he might be a racist, man. That was like the first red flag. Then the second red flag was what he said about George Floyd's murderer, okay? So there was this U.S. cop, his name was Derek Chauvin, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the whole George Floyd case. He basically, it was like Derek Chauvin and two other officers kneeled on this guy's neck for 9 minutes or something, choked him out, okay? So then Elon goes to X, okay? So what ends up happening is Ben Shapiro, okay, this guy, he's I don't know, he's like a race baiter. So he made a video and posted it on X, and then Elon said it's something to think about. like that he should be pardoned for murdering someone. So after that, I deleted my X account. Okay, I no longer post on X. So sorry for some of you guys. I actually had like over 2,000 followers on X. I really apologize for you guys that followed me on X, but I just can't post on his site knowing that Elon thinks like this. I refuse to post on his social media site. I don't care if I lose followers, revenue. I don't care. I'm not posting on X anymore. So like I said, hopefully you guys, or you can just check me out either on YouTube or at my website, TarikPierce.com. I'll probably launch a Discord as well in the future so we can like chat closer, but I'm not posting on X anymore. Okay. And like when I read that, that's when I just dumped it. I went to my Fidelity account and I just sold off all my Tesla stock. Okay. I just can't believe you would comment when this police officer was literally convicted. Okay. He was sentenced to 22 and a half years. Okay. He was sentenced to 22 and a half years. Okay. It's not, I mean, he murdered someone. George Floyd's never coming back. So he served his 22 and a half years. That's what the judge decided. He should just serve his time. Why comment on it? Why insinuate that the judge made a bad decision? Oh, no, he shouldn't have 22 years. He should get pardoned. So you went to law school. I guess Elon went to law school. I don't know. I mean, he can do it all, I guess. So right there, I was like pretty much out. I was done. And I didn't even have that much Tesla stock left. Okay. I sold most of it a while ago. I was just holding on to like the last tiny chunk of it. I'm gone. I'm done. I'm simply done because there's just greener pastures out here. And the greener pastures I'm talking about are Bitcoin, BTC, and strategy, MSTR. Okay. You don't even need Tesla anymore. Bitcoin is much better investment than Tesla for you crypto guys out there. So you guys out there that hold cryptocurrencies, just sleep soundly knowing that your Bitcoin is way more valuable than any one share of Tesla. Okay. And for you guys out there that want to play the stock market, I simply just sold all my Tesla stock and kept it all. I'm basically all in MSTR. And I'm going to show you guys why. So it's despite all of the crazy things that Elon's done and all of the declining sales and all of the bad technical things, let's just look at returns. Pure, cold, hard returns. Okay? Let's check them out. Okay? So over the last year, Tesla is up 54%. MicroStrategy is up 211%. Bitcoin's up 55%. So over the last 52 weeks, Bitcoin has outperformed Tesla. And MicroStrategy, or strategy now, MSTR, right? They changed the name, formerly known as MicroStrategy Strategy, has outperformed both of them by a long shot. Now, okay, you guys are saying, well, it's only 52 weeks. All right, well, let's just go back even more. 5 years. Look at the 5-year performance. Tesla stock is up 400% over 5 years. That's pretty good. It's not bad. You're not losing anything. But look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 900% and strategy stock is up 3,000%. So why do you need Tesla? Sure, Tesla holds some Bitcoin on its balance sheet, but not a lot. They haven't increased their Bitcoin holdings. I think at one point they had like 40,000, then they sold 75% of the Bitcoin. They have like 9,000, 10,000 Bitcoin max. Strategy has over 550,000 Bitcoin and counting. And then Bitcoin itself is the original cryptocurrency. So I don't need to put my money in Elon's company anymore. There's no need. You're going to do better with Bitcoin or strategy. So like I would say, I would recommend, this is what I'm doing. I use Bitcoin as savings and MSTR strategy stock for retirement. I don't need Tesla. What's the point of having Tesla? Tesla hasn't outperformed Bitcoin or strategy stock. It has a lot of counterparty risk with Elon's antics with declining revenue, with that double top I mentioned in the video. And the fact that, I no longer have to support, a potential racist. So it's just a win-win-win all on me together. So I'm done with Tesla stock. I will not be recommending it anymore to you guys on this channel or any other platform. If I were you guys, I would simply let the numbers speak for themselves. You can forget the technical analysis. You can forget the fundamental reason. You can forget the declining sales. You can forget Elon's potentially racist mindset. The results speak for themselves. Bitcoin and strategy stock have greatly outperformed Tesla stock. So if you have Tesla, you're losing money, period, over the long run. This is over the last 5 years. This isn't over a short term. This is over the last 60 months. Okay, guys, that's about it. I don't have anything else to say about why I sold my Tesla stock. It's gone. Good riddance. I don't need it anymore. I'm a Bitcoiner. Bitcoin and strategy for me. BTC and MSTR going up, in my opinion. TSLA going down. So like I said, if you let me know what you guys think about this video, comment, like, subscribe, do whatever. Some of you guys won't like this video. It might rub you wrong. I'm just telling you guys why I sold my Tesla stock. I'm not trying to make anyone angry or upset. So yeah, that's about it. So that's all I got, guys. Take care.